For y'all who didn't know, I started um, my weight loss journey like 2009. I used to be like 271 pounds, somewhere around there. Um, and so I didn't know, I was a bigger guy or weight was such a deal to me. And it's not weight a big deal now. It's just how you perceive yourself, I guess. And I didn't think nothing was wrong with me as far as the way I looked, but my health, wasn't so great. So I didn't realize how hard it was to lose weight until I actually tried to lose weight. Had no knowledge about nutrition, nothing. I didn't know anything other than what I heard people in the past say. Eat your 5 meals a day and all that other stuff. So when I actually started to try to lose weight, um, I pulled out like an old book I found. I remember I had by a bodybuilder. I forgot his name, but it's Feed the Muscle, Burn the Fat, Feed the Muscle, something like that. And he goes over his whole thing, his protocol, what he did for bodybuilding. And so I was trying to follow that model, but it just wasn't working for me. I couldn't drop any weight. I was having a very hard time. I started doing P90X, or yeah, it's P90X, yeah, P90X. Started lifting weights. I was doing jiu-jitsu, and the lowest I can get down to was like 255. I could not break, that plateau, and I was so frustrated. I just didn't understand why. And when the academy that I was training jiu-jitsu at, I saw this guy. He was walking. He was talking on the phone. He was telling somebody, "Yeah, man, it's unbelievable. You just gotta see it. You gotta." He goes, "I'm telling you, man, this stuff works." And I was looking at him talking. I was like, "Man, that looks like Shane." And Shane was a big guy. He's a big guy regardless. He was like 6'1" or something like that. I can't remember his height, but he's way taller than me. So, but I remember he fought as a heavyweight, and he looked a lot thinner. I was like, man, what does he do? I mean, it's been only a couple of weeks, and this guy went from a heavy set guy to slimmed up a lot. So I went home that day. When I got on Facebook, I sent the instructor, the head coach, a message. I said, hey, I saw Shane lost a lot of weight. Can you tell me why? Or, I mean, not tell me why, but can you tell me, what he did or what are y'all doing? Because, I know Shane was a fighter underneath him. So he was like, yeah. He goes, I recommend you buy the Primal Blueprint and go from there. And, I was willing to pay, they said, coach extra money or whatever services. He's like, just get the book. I was like, all right. So I ordered the book. I think I found that at Barnes and Noble at the time. The Primal Blueprint by Mark Sisson. So I read this book, and man, it just turned my world upside down. I just didn't. I was just so shocked that everything I knew about nutrition, I wouldn't say is a lie, but how upside down it was for me at that moment, which I kind of changed my view since then anyways. But, I treated that book like my Bible. And so, you know, it kind of, not really to say brainwashed me, but, it really made me think different and what I was doing to try to lose weight. So I followed that book religiously. I dropped all carbs, but at the time I didn't know carbs. There was different types of carbs: fibrous carbs, starchy carbs, complex carbs, all that other stuff. But so to me, a carb was a carb. So in my untrained mind, I was thinking that even like a vegetable was a starchy carb, and like a simple sugar, or I treated those all as the same playing field. So when the paleo diet or primal diet says reduce your carbs to less than 50 a day, I'm over here counting vegetables and everything as carbs. So, pretty much I was in ketosis this whole time. And not the whole time, but, doing this, like, man, I was like, so, yeah, I dropped a lot of weight, within was it? 2 years, I got down to like 170 or something, down, from 270. Even at one point weighed 169. So I guess in all, you could say I lost over 100 pounds, which I really did. And I just remember being so shocked. So, um, you know, looking back at my pictures, yeah, I had great results and loss. I got really lean, but I didn't have any muscle. So, thinking, in my head, I'm thinking, oh, muscles, after I lose all this fat, my muscles will just be there. Well, was I wrong? Because I didn't know how hard you had to work to gain muscle mass. So, after seeing how lean I was like, no, I'm trying to put on muscle. And in my head, I'm thinking, oh, muscle, it's easy. I just work out, lift weights, come really fast. I was thinking the same results as losing body fat. I could build muscle just as fast. No, I've been lifting weights for the past, since 2011, basically. And nothing ever came overnight. So, now I weigh like 200, 201. I still got some body fat on me, but nothing like crazy. I don't know. I'm probably like 18% body fat. Probably more. I don't know. But yeah, back to the weight loss primal blueprint. So I was treating these carbs. So I was treating these carbs all the same, so I had no idea. So basically, I was in ketosis this whole time, and I think Mark does mention ketosis, but he doesn't really go into depth about it. I can't really remember because, like I said, it was just something I breezed over about being ketones or something, and then never thought about it until later on. This was until recently. Well, I say recently, but maybe like 5 years ago or so. Keto became this big deal, this big movement, and people started losing weight, which it is great for weight loss, but it's not great for building muscle. And there's people out there that say, oh, you can build a muscle doing keto, but to me it took a lot longer to build muscle on keto rather than now that I'm incorporating doing carbs. I wouldn't really say carb cycling, but I can put on more muscle. Why work harder for something, twice as hard for something when it's available? Carbs are gonna exist in our diet. They're everywhere. Yeah, you can try to avoid them, but what happens when you in ketosis? You get kicked out, and you're like, oh man, I'm out of not got a ketosis. I've been there. It's very frustrating, and you think you failed. You're like, man, I've stalled my progress and everything. So my thing is like, why don't you try to learn to live eating carbs, just control it? Because the keto is almost like a free pass. I'll just eat all the protein and fats I want, and I won't gain that much weight. You will gain weight. You can gain weight on keto, but that's a whole different story. But, why not be able to control it and enjoy carbs, enjoy other foods, and work out, do the same routine? You might, now, if your goal is to lose weight really fast, yeah, do keto for a while, and then once you hit your goal weight, start maintaining your carbs, introduce them slowly, find what works for you, and then boom, you can get back on track or, kind of maintain and, you go out to eat with somebody or your friends, you'll be good. So, yeah, so that's where I'm kind of at with things right now is that, I keep trying to do keto, and it's not really fitting my goals at the moment because I want to build muscle. Like I said, yes, you can build, muscle on keto, but it won't be as effective. The whole chemistry and science behind your cells using carbs or ketones for energy, it gets more complex than what it sounds. Yeah, there's simple diagrams that explain all that stuff, but there is your body can. Okay, so yeah, ketone can power your cells. I think it's like 128 ATP or something like that, and then I think a glucose one carb or one glucose molecule is like 32 or 28 or something like that. So they say, that ketosis is, you know, 4 times more powerful than glucose molecule. Um, like I said, haven't really dug into the science that much lately to refresh myself on that, but I just for what I remember. So, you know, so you got that going on. Anyways, so you know, but one thing I do remember in biology in my A&P classes is that your body is more efficient using carbs for energy. So just because you know ketones can have power more like I think it's like a I can't remember the thing like 128 whatever it's ATP doesn't really mean anything because your body can just take a glucose molecule and it's more efficient to break that down for energy than when it can for fat. So, I'm not saying right or wrong, just whatever your goals are, whatever you feel better on. But I'm just learning to live, to eat carbs. I started eating rice again. Now, I'm not going all crazy where I'm eating, flatbread, wraps, and all this other stuff just yet. I'm just trying to get back comfortable eating carbs because I want to be able to enjoy things. But I know my old self. I remember, man, once you get that taste of sugar, sugar, gimme, 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 and man, you can really go overboard. So yeah, recently I had some moments where I ate cookies, I ate stuff. I guess you could say I overdid it, but the effect it had on my body wasn't as big impact when I was doing ketosis or keto or whatever. I I didn't put on any weight. Like I've been maintaining like 200 pounds for the past almost 3 weeks, and I'm kind of almost not really eating everything I want, but I'm sticking to the game plan. But yeah, I'm having some meals here and there, and it feels good that I can do something like that and don't have to stress so much. You know, keto, or no carbs, or so. But started working with this trainer recently. It's one of the guys I've seen him at work. I've seen him at the gym for a long time, and he expressed that he wanted to be a trainer one day, and that and help people out. So I was like, hey, I understand what you're trying to do. Work with me. It's just just to give him some. I'm not saying like I'm like a practice or a practice run or whatever, because he's done this numerous times. But I just helps. I'm just helping somebody reach their goal, and I'm working with him, and he's the one that kind of just made my meal plan for me. So I'm kind of going with that, and I'm gonna do a video. We're gonna sit down and talk about nutrition soon, and real cool dude, real chill. Um, you know, I like the vibe I get from him when we're talking, and you can tell he knows what he's talking about. And so yeah, man. So hopefully I bring him on one day. We can talk about all the nutrition stuff. So, but back to everything else I was saying. Right now, carbs are in my diet. I'm not keto. I'm not low carb. Say I'm moderate carb. So, but I like the way I'm feeling. I like the way I like the way I look full all the time. When I say full, I'm not talking about bloated full. I'm talking about my muscles look, the glycogen in my muscle cells are, saturated, or however you want to say it, and I'm not feeling so depleted, because when I get to ketosis, I get deep into ketosis, and like, man, I'm flat. They're like, I know people say more sodium and hold the water into the cells and blah blah blah, but it's nowhere near as effective as some good old carbs in your muscle cells. So, but yeah, I just want to talk about that piece. You know, how I ended up where I'm at now. There's more in between the timeline of when I started my journey up to now, but that's just kind of where I'm at right now with this. Going to keep talking about all this stuff, showing my meals, telling more about my